Good evening. Buongiorno, or buonasera in this case. It's later than usual. It's 7:30. How we all doing? I have so many projects, so many irons and so many fires, but I have decided to start a brand new one because I can't think about anything else right now, and my very rarely flaring executive dysfunction is kind of flaring up right now. So hopefully we can knock that out in 45 minutes or less and I can be on my merry way. So, what are we doing today? Today is adding RSS to my website. Fun fact about my website, you can actually watch the stream through the website. Executive dysfunction is flaring up. I'm usually pretty able to focus on lots of things. I don't get paralyzed by indecision too often. I will typically see a thing through from start to finish and not get distracted along the way. But today, despite having not one, not two, not three, but 4 other deadline projects currently going on concurrently, I've decided to start a 5th concurrent project, which is to add RSS. RSS is useful. We're going to talk about RSS. So what even is RSS? I mean, if you were born in the 21st century, which I assume everybody on Twitch chat is, you would never even know, most likely. RSS stands for really simple syndication. It is a standard web protocol, document type. It's kind of like HTML, that will allow a reader application to parse information about articles that are published to your website and present them to the reader in one handy place. Back before the internet as we know it became centralized to Reddit and Twitter and I don't know, Facebook or something, and before there were only 3 websites left on Earth, RSS was extremely useful because you could watch and read all of the articles from all of your other favorite websites from everybody's individual homepage, all on a single feed, and not have to go to all of them independently. So the feed became the one single website. Now, I guess, yeah, you've got your Twitters and things like that for that similar purpose. But, as we just witnessed this past week, hi Denji, how's it going? 31 months, Hachimachi, that's a lot of wasted money. But yeah, as we just saw this past week, Twitter is certainly not long for this world, and it's constantly making new moves to make itself obsolete. It just got banned. No, I mean wasted money. I truly believe that. RSS more like, oh, you got it, Tenchi, you got it. Hold on, what is it? Think. Tenchi, you've got this. We'll come back to you. Anyway, Twitter got banned in Brazil this past weekend because its current owner refuses to adhere to local laws and ban misinformation surrounding political campaigns and things like that. And so instead of just adhering to banning like the 7 accounts that were requested, the current owner of Twitter.com decided to simply lose the entire country of Brazil, which is the 3rd largest user of the website, the platform. As a result, though, if I have some cool news on my website that I wanted to share, like if I have a project that I want to release, like a new version of VTS Sharp, or I make a cool plugin, or any of this stuff gets updated, and I post about it on Twitter, now there's an entire country, the 3rd largest demographic online, that will not be able to learn about it because it's gated behind Twitter. If I instead were to publish all of these articles via RSS, not that anybody uses RSS, but it does provide a, like, reliable way that people can get information from a website like mine. RSS more like RS no thank you. That's pretty good. RSS more like RSVP declined. Yeah, I hear you. That's fine. Yeah, so anyway, RSS came about in 1999. It was pretty popular in the mid-2000s. It is basically a way to get all of your news articles and other hilarious web posts in one place into an RSS reader. See, Denshi gets it. For example, the most popular, I think, modern RSS reader is Feedly. So here's an example. I'm currently subscribed to the RSS Foundation's example RSS. And so you get something like this. You open it up, and it's like, wow, look at all these articles about NASA, for example. These are all from NASA's website, and I can peruse them at my leisure. If I were to have other RSS feeds that I'm subscribed to, they would be interspersed here at time-relevant intervals. Any alien-related news? I don't think so. NASA to provide coverage is Dragon Depart Station. They found a dragon? That's pretty cool. The only dragon I know of that can like go to outer space is Rayquaza. So maybe that's an alien-related news. That's kind of cool. I'm not going to click further. I don't actually care. But yeah, so like if you, I guess if you did click on one of these, you could open it in a new link. And if this URL still exists, which I kind of doubt it does, we'd be able to go there. Yeah, this one is long since gone though, because I'm looking at sample RSS from years ago. But we'll get there. We'll get there. Anyway, that's the purpose of RSS. It lets you aggregate your stuff in one place. It kind of makes you agnostic of needing to publish on social media, though you definitely still should. It provides like a central way that has stood the test of time to get information across. And now that I have like a new self-hosted website that's very pretty, I would like to depend less and less on needing to publish things on social media to get heard. So every time I have like a new project update or blog post or whatever, I would like to just be able to blast that to RSS as well. That's the goal here. And I genuinely think this is going to be very, very easy. I've got the RSS advisory boards specification list. I have an example RSS document. This is the NASA one we were just looking at. And it is broken down into HTML-like components. Top level is an RSS tag up here. It has information about the channel. That is my website. There is metadata about the channel, and then just lots of items, item tags. Each one of these represents a blog post. And so you could do like most recent, you know, X number of these. And that's, I think, the plan. And fortunately for me, with all the stuff that I've been building so far, you don't see much XML these days. No, you really don't. But that's fine. I think XML lost the evolutionary race to JSON because it's effectively like twice as redundant. Or twice as verbose, rather. In a JSON format, you'd have like an RSS object with a property called channel, and the channel would have properties title, link, description, etc. But in XML, you have these tags, so you have a start and close tag, and you're essentially just doubling the size of your document for no real discernible reason, as far as I can tell. It is just kind of the precursor to JSON. But that's fine, because again, this has been around since 1999, and it is still the standard. It's not oppressively bloated or anything like that. There are better ways to get this information across, but we don't really need to optimize. So I think it's fine. Anyway, what I was going to say is the fact that this is built like HTML is really advantageous for me because my entire website is done via server-side rendering. All the pages are dynamically built by the server and then served to you, which means I have a really good system for building HTML through JavaScript. And I can leverage that to make these documents, which are effectively HTML as well. So, without, I guess, further ado, I'm going to get started on that. We'll pop up our VS Code, and we'll begin our grim undertaking. Okay, so, first thing that I want to do is ask chat if the music is too loud or can't be heard at all. If there's any opinion on that. I've been talking this entire time, so it's probably been pretty quiet. But there is some good bossa nova in the background that I will almost certainly get, muted for, but that's okay. I know YouTube won't mute me for this. They don't even slap me on the wrist, but Twitch might. Cool. Okay. So first thing I'm going to do here, the way I've currently got my like project layout set up here is in my where is it? Source directory here. I've got a bunch of templates that are things like what does my homepage look like? The frame here, which is what I'm looking at right now. So I've got like a outer layer of HTML. It has all the meta tags. I wish I saw a lot less XML at work. Mood. I don't like it, but it is the standard, and we'll work with it if we have to. Again, I don't think it's like oppressively bad. I think it can definitely be used for evil, though. JSON is certainly preferable in that it's more readable, and people will try and bend using XML to means that it's not suited for. Anyway, so yeah, my current website, it has like a wrapper like this. We've got our meta tags that tells us like what the name of the website is when you try and do an embed and what have you. It's got kind of a frame, and then page content gets inserted here dynamically by the server, and we have our footer with all of our great 88 by 31 badges, my WebRing stuff at the bottom, etc., etc. And so in practical terms, what that boils down to is this section, like everything in these gray bubbles, from here all the way down, is what goes in the inserted sec. Oops. There we go. Added the wrong thing. Which is what goes in here. So we've got the footer and the header, and it gets dynamically. That's your WebRing. Wow, yeah, it's true. How can somebody apply to enter this extremely cool WebRing, by the way, if they wanted to? Just like hypothetically speaking, if they wanted to be in the VTubers on NeoCities or whatever WebRing, how would they go about doing that? That's a great question. You just go to index here, check out the VTubers on NeoCities WebRing as soon as it loads. What even is a WebRing? It's a circular collection of websites linked together, and they are all organized around a central theme. Everybody here is on NeoCities except me, because I'm a big liar, and I weaseled my way into this club anyway. I'm just so charming that they had to accept me. That's me at the bottom. I'm third from last. Denshi, you should, but you need a website first. Also, you need to be a VTuber. I guess being a VTuber god is, like, kind of the same, but I'm sure they would let you in. They made an exception for me not being on NeoCities. I'm sure they can make an exception for you. But yeah, like, lots of cool websites here. This is a brand new one that has been added since the last time I peeked. But they're on the WebRing. Very cool. This is a NeoCities house website for sure. And mine kind of fits the bill, but it's not NeoCities. It is stuff that I've made by hand as we're looking at here. But it feels like the spirit is there. So I was accepted into this exclusive club by Millennium Cyborg. Anyway, yes. Yes. Let's get cracking here. So what I want to do is I'm going to take my RSS specification, like, frame, which is going to look like this. Hold on. Let's make a new document in templates. New file, rss.xml. I love that. I don't know if it's visible in how small the icons are. Maybe it's because I named it RSS, but the .xml icon is the RSS, like, signal icon. Anyway, channel. Okay. These get indented, and then content goes here. Denshi gets in free. How could you say no? You can say no to Denshi very easily, I've found. It's actually not that challenging. Okay, so we have our template. We're going to populate this with some metadata and then X number of, like, items from the list. And then we should be all set. And then we're going to serve it up via our web server. So, next step is in our source use cases here, we're going to make a new JavaScript file. Okay, we've got our thing that's going to do what we need it to do. And a great example here is the embedding HTML use case that I've got right here. I used to have these, like, built out as a very standard, like, structure. Like, these will be classes that had a execute function. It's a pattern I learned from my day job, but I don't actually think it's important. So we're just gonna fly fast and loose here. So we're gonna say, like, function async function. Generate RSS. This will do something cool. I'll make a Java doc for it in a second. And then at the end, we're going to do something like module.exports. There we go. So now we can call this function elsewhere. We're going to say this is going to return That's the C# notation. What does it look like in... Why is it not like that? Huh? I'm confused why this is not highlighting the way I want it to, but I don't actually care that much. We'll figure that when we get there. Return RSS. There we go. Why is... I'm confused, actually. Hold on. I copy this over. Weird. Maybe it's because I didn't have params? Not that these matter. These don't exist. Okay. At the world's most basic level, we have a function. We have a class that it's in. We can call this function from elsewhere because we're exporting it as a module, which means I can go to, say, my web server, back at the root here. I will make a new endpoint somewhere probably close to the top. Launch. For everything, we increment the hit counter. That's cool, except for hits. That's fine. Oops. Blogs. I guess let's pop it right here. Get. So here we're telling the web server when you have a GET request for whatever subdomain. In this case, it's going to be RSS. What's the naming convention for these files? Does it matter? Something like that. Cool. Then do the following. Request response object. Boom. And here we're going to say res.status 200 send generate RSS. Boom. Okay, so now we have that. I can fire up my web server. And if we go now to our... Ooh. I forgot I have to run npm install before I can start my server. 1 second. There we go. Okay. So now if I go to my browser and run localhost. What do you mean bet request? There we go. So we've got our web server running locally. I can go to /RSS, rss.xml, and I get the string that I returned back. Cool, so my endpoint works. Super easy stuff so far. I hope you're following along and taking notes because there will be an exam at the end. So that's all well and good, but instead of returning that string that we just saw, the little text RSS, we need to return an actual document that's going to look something like this, right? So the next step is to be able to get this template, return something like this, and then modify the contents as well. So how do we do that, right? Let's take an example from where I've been modifying HTML currently. So where do we load? Do we load files in here at all? No, I don't think so. We've got a template map. We can use that, probably. This is doing all the file reading, so this actually seems like a great place to do it. Here I abstracted away. I have a little wrapper class that does the file reading from the actual file directory. I didn't want this package to be, like, polluting in other operating classes, so here I've got this as, like, a little directory, I guess, of sorts. I try and keep my imports to a minimum in each discrete class. I figured there's no reason to allow things to potentially access the file system if they don't need to. Here would be RSS, templates, RSS.xml. Cool. Now we can go back to our generate use case here. This will now take in our template map. Param. I don't get why this is highlighting wrong. Oh, wait, no, I do, because it needs the at. I'm stupid, I can't read. This is going to be template param single. How is that used? How do I import that elsewhere? Like this. So that's the type definition of template map right here. So we can do return template map.rss. Why does it say? Oh, yeah, it's very nice, right? I also use a custom VS Code theme that I made for myself that reminds me of rose flowers that I like quite a lot. But yeah. Okay, so this is gonna return now. I think I can do toString like that. If we reboot our server again, and now if I go to my website again, I refresh this, bad request, invalid host. I don't think I believe you. Oh, okay, it's right actually. I am doing something wrong. Let's go back to VS Code. It's saying that this doesn't exist, which I think is incorrect. But maybe it's right. So looking at our previous places where we use this, we always call it like .frame. That gets us our template. We then flip it into a JS DOM and then we can manipulate it. So what am I doing differently here? Does the file not exist? It should. Templates, RSS, .xml. I'm looking at it. It's right here. Did the Skull Striker not work? Do I have to refund you your precious 1 point, Denshi? Hold on. That won't do. Oh my god. This is a scandal. I think my Twitch token expired is what it is. 1 second. That one's always good, though. Classic, dude. Yeah, hold on. You'll be able to hit me soon enough.
This isn't interesting.
Nailed by eruption.
Alright, we're just clicking every button now. That's cool.
Get a load of this.
What the hell? That's like super uncalibrated. What on earth? Why is it so off?
Wow.
That's really bizarre.
Well, you know I'm the type.
And then that's still not. What the hell? Hold on. I don't know why it's like so off. This used to hit my head perfectly. Well, you can still throw stuff at me. I apologize. I don't feel like figuring this out right now, and it's not really what I'm here to do. But I'm glad you were able to use every other sound redeem and burn those pesky channel points. This Isn't Interesting one is a new addition that I'm rather fond of, frankly. It's important for people to tell me when they're being bored out of their minds. That's so weird.
This isn't interesting.
Yeah, I think that's important. What happens if I click calibrate right now?
This isn't interesting.
I've disappeared? Hold on, we're going off-road here. Sorry. That's impossible, Denshi, because I've never said anything that's interesting. What the hell? It's still wrong. I'm literally doing the calibration as desired. It's like off by a lot. That's so weird. Whatever, I'll figure it out some other time. I didn't resize the model, it was doing that for me. When I clicked the calibrate button, it shrank me to that and then made me giant. So who knows? It's a mystery to everyone. Yeah, what was I doing? Oh yeah, it was okay. So my RSS was saying it wasn't able to find this file, question mark, which doesn't make sense to me because I'm looking at it. So let's see. If I do... Oh! I'm a clown. The thing exists. What I'm not doing is passing said template map in here, which we need to do. So it's a dependency injection. We have our function template map. For sake of a unit test, I could make a new class or a new instance of template map that points to different things, and that would let me test with a dummied example of code. It's pretty good if you ever have anything that has like credentials or would actually make a call out to a real HTML or HTTP like request. You can do dependency injection like that to avoid actually making a real call for the sake of unit test. It is a good practice to do dependency injection. Anyway, that takes us back to our website. We go here, we open rss.xml. This appears to be blank, which is not what I expected at all. Elements, no, okay, no, it's just invisible. Because it's trying to render it as HTML. That's very funny. So we need to change that as well. If I look in my inspector, though, I can see that the actual content is here. So let me make sure that this isn't trying to render this as HTML. And how would I do that? What is the doc type that this needs to be? Interesting, interesting. What makes this able to render RSS rather? Very strange, interesting. I think I just need to change the doc type, and that's probably specified here somewhere. Nope. I want it to basically look like this. So if I refresh the page here, how do I view... my header? Headers. Content type, text HTML. Perfect. Yeah, that's correct. I just couldn't remember if it was just HTML or whatever. So what I need to do here is res.header. Set header. Text XML. Is it content type? T is capitalized as well. Okay, so this will tell our response that it should be of this interpretation type. I'm assuming it's just thinking it should be HTML no matter what, because it's coming out of an HTML web server. Let's reboot our server and try again. No, still no, huh? Is it just not interpreting that, or? Headers. Yeah, big mystery. It feels like it didn't actually save that header, because I don't see it here. It's not under response headers, which it should be. Also, the status code is not a 200, which is strange. It should be. Maybe the page is haunted. Hey, Sari, how's it going? Welcome, welcome, welcome. That's fine. We will figure this out together. Name. Value. Okay. What does this return? Does it return a... Can I do, like, send? Oh, does this need to be, like, one continuous... I think that might be what needs to happen. There we are. It's also possible that the page is haunted. I think this needs just to be chained together, and that's how it would work. I don't think it's mutating the response object in place. I think it's returning a new one that would work. So let's try again. Okay. We got the XML warning. But then there's just like no content. And I feel like there should be. Interesting. Oh, that's why. Thank you. Yes, you are correct. I forgot that I added that as a way to test if the set header function returned a response object, and it does. Don't bad request me. There we go. Look at that. This is exactly what we wanted. So here's the RSS class. We just need to actually populate it now, which is great. So we can look at examples here. So in our generate RSS use case, we're going to have our template. Cool. Then we're going to do const dom equals JS dom template. And then I'll pull VS Code back up. Like that. So now with JS DOM, you can start doing DOM manipulation, the document object model that is how HTML works, from JavaScript. And I find that very, very useful, and I've not found the overhead to be intrusive at all. So for example, I can do const channel equals dom.get element. Okay, hold on. Be dom.window get element document get element by ID or by tag name. Like such. What templating engine is this using? It's literally using none. I am just using JS DOM. It is the JavaScript library for being able to do DOM manipulation via code. I'm sure I could use an engine for it, but I've basically spun this all myself. It is simply loading the template into DOM memory, performing DOM operations like finding tags, adding elements, and then serializing it off as a string. I am certain there's a better way to do this, but this is the way that I'm familiar with. So I'm gonna keep it that way. I think that's for the best. If I had a huge website that got a lot of traffic, I might reconsider my ways, but I don't. So this has so far not been very obtrusive at all. Okay, so now we can do stuff like I want to add a new tag. We're gonna do that just for the sake of brevity. Title, if I can type. Create element. Title dot is going to be inner HTML equal to like that. And we can do channel append child title. And we will do this over and over and over again. So like title taken care of. We'll do... A lot of this stuff can probably be baked in to the template. The only things here that would actually be dynamic, as far as I can tell, would be this publish date and last build date. So actually, yeah, let's for the sake of brevity, not do that. But this is how we'll accomplish this in a little bit. So let's take an example like this, and go to our RSS over here, and fill in everything that's not going to change with static text. I'm making an RSS feed, Tommy. How's it going? RSS feed, you're wondering, what is that? It is the de facto way of transmitting information over the internet, circa 1995 to 2007. It is creating a feed like this, where everybody can get all of the news articles that I post on my website about like project updates or blog posts fed into a platform-agnostic RSS feeder like this. So I can say like, oh, subscribe to me on your RSS feeder of choice, and whenever I post an update, you'll just get a little blurb in here that'll be interspersed with all of your other stuff. This was way more useful before the internet calcified into 3 websites, being Twitter, Facebook, and Reddit or whatever, and you know, you'd have all posts on all of the internet in those 3 places. But back when everybody had their own homepage and there was not one central force of the internet, RSS feeds were very, very important in getting a usable browsing experience for the layman who just wanted to catch up on all their favorite sports news and good cat pictures and stuff without having to go to all the different websites. Yes, they rock. They're awesome. So anyway, I'm making one of these for my website. Case in point, Brazil lost access to Twitter this week, and so that was a good wake-up call to be like, yeah, I probably shouldn't use Twitter as my exclusive way of notifying people about updates for stuff that I maintain. Not that I think my adoring Brazilian fandom is going to suddenly flock to RSS, but it would be nice to have a option that is peer-to-peer rather than being dependent on some benevolent social media server overlord, you know? Yeah. Yeah, pretty much. So like this is Feedly, which is an example of an RSS feed. I have currently fed it just this example file, this example RSS document, which specifies that this is like news about NASA and has some articles. One second, I'll be right back. I just heard a loud noise outside.
Wow.
We're good. Just air pressure differential in the house closing a door. So we're fine. Yeah, so like this is an example of an RSS feed from NASA. It's got a bunch of specific blog posts itemized here. The feed reader, i.e. Feedly in this case, will parse this document and say, hey, here's the news about what's going on with NASA. It puts it in chronological order. If you were subscribed to like 12 different news feeds beyond just NASA, your like overall feed would be everything from all of your websites in chronological order, you know, interspersed. And then you click on these and they'll take you to the corresponding news article. So it's like where Twitter feeds, which where any social media feed kind of originated from is like this. But these will now all take you to their own homepages instead of being in one place. And so I want to add that to my website here because I don't like the notion of being beholden to any particular social media platform. I don't like Twitter. I'm on it and I'm pretty active on it, but I don't like it because it does objectively suck. I'm there by necessity, you know. Anyway, Skeletom.net description. go. We just do our best to cope, it's true. So these two are going to need to be dynamically generated. Docs, yeah, that's correct. Generator, homespun, managing editor, Tom at skeletom.net, webmaster, one and the same. Cool, okay. It's such a big lift. Like, Blue Sky, I'm told, is getting better all the time, but, like, it's impossible. You literally just have to pick up the whole internet and move them somewhere else. I know, I'm also not saying that my Twitter feed is bad. I mean, there's quite a lot of doom posting, but it's super warranted because the world is in very bad shape right now, and I don't actively try and, like, weed that out because I think it is my job as a member of the human race to be informed about whatever's going on in the world. But you certainly could turn blinders to that if you wanted to. I have plenty of wonderful things that I see every day, and it's great. But fundamentally, it is like a honeymoon that will not last, you know? The current owner of Twitter.com makes the worst decisions mankind has, like, ever seen from a business perspective. So, like, I'm very sure that the next time something good happens on there, he's just gonna, like, blow a gasket and tear the whole thing down. If he was willing to ice out the third largest region that uses his website, I am sure his, like, business acumen is just unrivaled in the realm of good decision making. Doom scroll on Twitter and then heal on Tumblr. Hurt and comfort. I feel ya. I'm not a Tumblr user. I kind of missed that whole, like, dimension of my life, but it's pretty good. I need pity likes. I feel ya. Exactly. Okay, so we're good here. The two tags that we're going to need to dynamically generate are these two. So let's actually do those instead. So, oops. So we're going to do, instead of title, it's going to be pub date. Think how much easier this would be if this was JSON. I wouldn't need, like, a stupid interpreter or anything like that. And I mean, granted, I could also just make this all by hand. Like, it's not too complicated, the HTML structures at play here. But I don't wanna, is kind of the thing. Okay, so pub date needs to be formatted like that. I think it's just gonna be new date? Does that work? I don't remember the difference between ISO and UTC string. I'm gonna go with UTC here. Yeah, I'm shocked that community notes still exist on Twitter, Denji, if I'm being real, because they're always used to be like, fact-checked, the owner of this site is a godless moron. And, like, you'd think a man with an ego that fragile would simply not tolerate anybody being able to, like, question the authority of the accounts he wants to amplify. So I don't know how those have stuck around, unless they are somehow legally mandated by the United States government. And even then, like, he's clearly shown that he doesn't care what government think. He'll just, like, take his ball and go home. So I don't know. I really don't know what he's thinking. I mean, clearly he's not, but you know what I mean. Okay, so how does this look if I run this now? I think it was, but I'm saying I can't believe he, like, hasn't immediately removed it. Because it's basically always used to own him. And rightfully so. Brother, where's my RSS? Brother. Where's my RSS, though? I'm confused. Oh, I'm not return. Hold on. I'm so bad at, like, I was saying before, my executive capabilities are pretty good, and I will follow through things until I get them done. But then, while I'm streaming like this, my brain goes out the window, and I'm like, why is it not returning my RSS? Probably because I'm not telling it to. Serialize. Oh, wait, that's why I don't do it like that. Doc. This is just for aliasing purposes because it's way faster that way. Serialize. There we go. There we go. Contains the following errors. That's awesome. Opening and ending tag mismatch, link line 4, and channel. That's awesome. Thank you for telling me. What? I don't know what it's trying to tell me, though. So it's saying, hold on, there's the following error. Mismatch, opening and ending tag mismatch, link line 4, and channel. Below the rendering of the page up to that first error. Okay, so this is correct. But then after that, it gets, like, very upset. We're inspecting source here. Oh. Why is it doing that? Huh? Why is it putting all of this stuff in the link? That's not how this should be at all. And if I look at how my stuff is set up in VS Code... Where'd code go? Oh, there's code. Link is a closed tag here. So what's the problem? Does it need to be in quotes? It probably needs to be in quotes, right? That would make sense. It's like this is a closed tag. I'm pretty sure, at least. Oh, let's try again. No, it doesn't like that. I'm very confused. Huh. So when I'm looking at the website here, it's saying that like all of these other tags are nested elements in this link tag. But that's objectively not what the file I have looks like here, and I'm trying to figure out why it thinks that's why. If I just remove this link tag, what happens? I can't do that. It is required by like RSS standard. So this is not valid, but that's okay. That renders, so it doesn't like... I don't get what it doesn't like here. The example, nasa.gov/. It doesn't like. Do I need to do like skeletom.net/? Does it need that slash for some reason? I couldn't even begin to guess why. No, okay, it still doesn't like that. I don't get it. The chat, you all know XML standard better than I do, obviously. Why is it doing that? What is wrong with my link tag here? Why is this a valid link tag? Do you see it? Yeah, exactly. Let's compare. This is a valid link tag. This is not a valid link tag. What's the difference? Okay, so I comment this one out and try and rerun it. Does it like the nasa.gov one? Does it think that's totally fine? Does it just hate my name? This is like anti-Italian discrimination? Like, what am I looking at here? No, okay, it doesn't... Wait. No, yeah, it doesn't like that one either. What the heck? Yeah, so it doesn't like this either. I'm kind of at a loss if I'm being real. The link is a very important aspect of the RSS feed. Let's, hold on, let me Google this real quick. Is my parser doing something incorrect? I can't imagine why it would do that. But let's find out. Yes! My parser is doing it. My parser is removing my closing tag for the link. Why the fuck would it do that? I'm just looking at it in my terminal right now. Because that's where I have the console printout too. There's no easy way to get that on stream right now. But yeah, my JS-doc parser is just eating my closing link tag. And I don't know why. Yeah, I think it is parsing it as HTML5. Is there a way for me to tell it to not do that? What standard of... That's true, but this one needs it, is the thing. That's kind of throwing a whole wrench into this operation. If it's just gonna, like, throw a tantrum like that. What are my list of options for something like this? Can I tell this what kind of... URL content type? Okay, hold on. So can I do... Will it not malform my document if I do that, perhaps? Let's find out. Yay! Okay, that fixed it. So now, so the secret I had to do here was I had to tell my DOM parser to not try and interpret this as HTML, but rather as XML. And apparently, like Millennium Cyborg was saying, there are certain HTML tags that don't need a like closing tag like this. They'll just be like self-closing. You'll have like I don't know, img src equals ... And it'll be like that. And you don't need like a close tag because there's no inner content. Links can sometimes work like that as well. But here I do need it to have something like that. So cool, okay, we're fine there. So the pub date is that. So now the next step is we need to get all of my posts in here. And I'm trying to think the best way to do that. And I think it's just going to be like that. That's going to be a param. And this is going to be post metadata. So like if I go to my server here, I have somewhere in here I feed it all my posts. All my good posts. Where is that? Like blogs, here, blogs. Blogs returns blogs. What is blogs? Blogs is a list of posts data. So here I want to make this post data posts. Good posts. Yeah, it's going to be limited to... I'm going to sort these in chronological order and then call it the last, like, 5 or something like that. But that, for right now, I need to basically pool everything into a single list like this, and then we're going to just have a function that will be able to turn these into HTML tags for us that are going to look like, going back to the website, we're just going to make these item tags, basically. And then I will also figure out my last build date based on that as well. I don't really know what the difference between pub date and last build date is. Let's find out, actually. Pub date, the publication date for the content in the channel. For example, New York Times publishes on a daily basis. The publication date flips once every 24 hours. That's when the pub date of the channel changes. Okay. So that is when the latest news article got posted. I don't understand the difference, though, because that's also what this sounds like it's saying. Last build date versus pub date. And then what's really confusing is the NASA one has a pub date of 2003, but the last build date was in July of last year. So, which is it? Because these say that they're from July or June or whatever. So I don't know what this pub date is. I'm going to assume that these are the same, actually. Until proven otherwise. That's fine. Okay. That's fine. So now in my index here, I need to feed my posts in. Where is it here? RSS. It's gonna be... Check this out. Oh, you can't check it out because I'm not showing you the code. I'm gonna feed it in a list of all of my blogs and projects. So this is the destructuring operator. So this is taking two lists and tearing them apart, and I'm making a new super list out of it. So this is everything all washed together. And that's fine, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, it's very cool, right? I wish you could do this in every language. Wow. I know, ellipses are awesome, right? So yeah, I'm tearing two lists apart, itemizing them, making one super list, passing that in here, and so now I will want to sort them. So posts.sort. That's going to be A, B, A dot. B dot date, I think. Oh, foolish me, hold on. Where is it? I have to import this post data definition. we go. These are numeric timestamps. I think in lieu of this would blow the stack if you had big lists, you think? Really? Interesting. I've never had a list so big that that would be a problem. In my extremely limited experience. I love destructuring. Sorts the array in place. Awesome. We're going to do... of in. Cool, awesome. And then we can do slice. Five. We'll get the last 5 posts. We're gonna do this. Oops. Item. And then, so what do we need to put in there? According to this, an item looks like following. So we have title. Type. Okay, link is going to be... I think I have a property on here that's just the full URL. So it'd be basically repeating these 3 lines of code over and over again. Next is going to be link. Post.html. I don't have the URL on here, that's okay. It's gonna be something like... I think. Basically like that. Let's take this for a spin before we get too caught in the weeds. Let's see what this generates back on our page. Did I not save? I did. But this has no items on it, which tells me that my destructuring list didn't work. Somehow. which is possible. Maybe I'm wrong with the syntax. I do love destructuring stuff, but I could be wrong. Okay, no, it says there are 5 items in the list. So what am I doing wrong? What's the boneheaded mistake? Creator item. Title. Link. Channel. Oh, wait. It's because I'm serializing the DOM way up here. I need to do that. Get rid of these. Get rid of that. Get rid of that. I was serializing the thing and making it a string before I actually added any of this, hence why it was not included in the return payload. But now I can close VS Code, refresh this, and wow, look at that. Perfect. We've got our skeleton.net blogs, VTS show. So like if I go to this, lo and behold, it works, right? So that is the like core basis of RSS right there. The rest is all icing on the cake, so to speak. We've got our itemized list of the 5 most recent posts that I've made. I think. Yeah. Except I'm using the wrong date on these. I'm using the original publication date. So like, for example, my blog post first is being listed as before VTS Sharp and Torkool, because it's using the publication date, not most recent update date of these things. But that's an easy fix. That's another area of metadata I have here. So up here we want to do updated minus updated. That'll work. So all of my posts have a like original date and then last edit date, and last edit date is what I care about here. So next we're gonna do these two. Pub date, update in your HTML is equal to how can we add NFTs and generative AI? Well, you have no proof that I am organic in any way, so I guess my intelligence could be considered artificial, and I am generating this. I'm trying to think about the NFT thing. What's the funniest joke I could come up with? Unfortunately, this generative AI is not good at generating comedy or humor, so I don't have it for you there. What am I trying to do here? Date. Can I pass in post updated? Does it like that? Don't look at me for doing a double constructor like this. I should just abstract that out to a single field, or a single variable instead of doing it twice. Don't look at me, it's fine. Okay, then we just need description. And that's also really easy. I just do post.brief. Another thing I had the foresight to come up with, because again, all of my stuff is templated. So when I go to my actual website, when I go to like blogs, I've got a little brief description right here. I figured that was a smart thing to break out when I was doing my post templating. And then when you go into the actual post, it's like, here's the brief. And then all the other stuff that's going on in the post. It's awesome. I'm so proud of this website. I really, really love this website. I did such a good job. Tooting my own horn here in a very metaphorical sense. There you go. But yeah, so I already got the brief there. So now if I close this and run it again, and we will take one more look at our RSS. If I remember to save. Oh, oops. There we go. I was adding 2 link tags. Wait, where are my link tags, actually? Don't bad request me. What are you talking about? An operation would yield an incorrect node tree. What are you talking about? Hold on, I've caused a problem. I'm not sure why, but it's not happy with something I've done here. Oh, wait. Yes. I am trying to append an item to itself because I made a typo. I'll show you my shame. I was doing description.append child description. You can't do that. Don't do that. It's bad. Okay. Back to business. Don't bad request me. I know I'm right. Alright, we're looking good here. We've got our title of our post. We've got a link to the post. We have a description. And we have our publication date of the post. That's awesome. I love that for me. And we have, strictly speaking, this still seems... Oh no, this is correct. This is correct. This is definitely correct. Because my projects haven't been updated since making this website. Link to the post. Yes, you're so right, Denshi. Thank you. And I think that's all I'd need to do. I think that's everything. This is an RSS feed. Limited to 5 most recent entries, which is like plenty good. At least for right now. 8th of July. Yeah, that's correct. God, I can't believe I made my website 2 months ago. It feels like just yesterday. Time is ripping by at an alarming rate. Okay, so there's nothing left to do then, but git commit and see if this works on my RSS reader. So give me a second here. I'm gonna flip us over to VS Code. Let me log into my terminal. We're gonna deploy it. That was really simple syndication, right? I've been streaming for a whopping hour and 20 minutes. And that's bookended by at least 15 minutes of startup time where I'm yammering on about God knows what. Let me get my authenticator and loudly read my 2FA code to the world. There we go. Log into my web server, because it's not NeoCities, even though it should be. Oh, there is one other thing I have to do before we can consider this done. And that is, on my homepage right now, if you go to skeleton.net home, you'll have the stay in touch. Oh, I'm not showing my browser. There we go. You'll have stay in touch, and I've got email me at, because I like email. This is my preferred way to actually be contacted by people, because it's like the one method of communication I know won't get like randomly eaten by over-invasive spam filtering or anything like that. I get people DMing me for help on Twitter for like whatever, and it gets filtered because I don't have any mutual connections with them and they seem like a complete rando. So Twitter's like, got it, I will hide this from you. And also, I don't have the Twitter app installed on my phone anymore. I haven't for about 8 months. And so I don't get push notifications if you DM me or tweet at me or anything like that. It is entirely reliant on me checking. Which I do a lot because I'm very online, but I should be less online. If you email me, though, I'll always be sure to respond. I have an incredibly short SLA on email response times. It'll be like maybe 3 hours tops, unless I'm like driving or something for a longer period than that. I'm very, very good about being on top of email. And anyway, so I've got or find me on Twitter And then I've got like my 2 streaming platforms, or streaming and VODs, and like itch and git. So I wanted to add my RSS feed underneath the Twitter one because it's kind of similar conceptually. Like that's the way I've grouped these, is you've got like feeds, like posting feeds, videos, and then like projecty stuff. So I want to add a link to the RSS here, and when you click on it, it'll take you to this guy right here. And people who know what RSS is about will know what to do. So that is something I have to do. But anyway, let's refresh the website here, my actual production one. Do rss/rss.xml. I get my RSS. I'm going to go to Feedly. I'm going to give it this URL. It's going to load. Skeletom.net. Look at this. Look what I've done it. I've actually done it. Skeletom.net newsfeed from Skeletom.net. All the latest projects and updates from blog posts from Tom Skeletom Pharaoh. It's being processed. I will follow my own feed. That's awesome. So now if I go to my example RSS feed, here are the 2 most recent posts it's got for me. Both pretty long ago. But that's fine. These are because these were updated at the same time. It makes sense. Why does it only have 2 for me, though? Shouldn't it have 5? This definitely has a bunch of posts. So why is Feedly only showing me 2? That's kind of a question for maybe tomorrow or another time. Is it because more than 30 days ago was too long? Wait, actually, these are not sorted properly either. Now that I'm thinking about it. This order makes no sense. So yeah, okay, so what's happening here is, yeah, it's just looking for things that are, like, within the past month, which these just barely qualify for. That's fair. I can probably change that somewhere in my settings. I don't know. I don't really want to use this website too much. But, yeah, they're here. But then when I'm looking at my actual RSS feed, I thought I sorted my posts by date. But, like, I've got August 5th. Sorry, this is really small. August 5th, July 19th, July 8th, August 5th, May 22nd. So what's going on? Hold on. There's mystery abound. Let's go back to VS Code. We got two more things to do before I wrap up the stream today. Does this not sorts an array in place? Mutates the array and returns a reference to the same array. But it's like not... What's happening here? We do... Or embed HTML, I guess. If I do... Where's my... Yeah, okay, this does sort in place. And so both of those should already be sorted. But also I was doing it backwards. It's B minus A is what I want. Either way, that's kind of confusing. I'm not sure why that's not working. But we're in the clear. We are definitely in the clear. Also, since it can figure out dates and stuff, I'm not super concerned about that at this exact juncture in time. Let me update the homepage, though, while I'm there. Because that's really easy. That's like 2 lines. So we've got our homepage content right here. Email me at or find me on. I will simply add... Oh, I was so forward thinking. I actually already have a section for RSS. So I'm using Font Awesome for glyph rendering. href is going to be just... Boom. Fire this bad boy back up again. Navigate to my non-productionized website, which I definitely still have open somewhere here. Why is it populating these in this order? Oh wait, now it's happy. What was it doing before? This is a correct order. This makes sense. Yeah, August 5th, July 19th. Cool, okay. And if I go to my homepage, there it is. It may not be zoomed in like 200%. There you go. You can follow me on my RSS feed. You click on this, and it takes you right here. And if you know what RSS is about, you will know what to do with this information. And if you don't, then that's fine too. Cool, okay. I'm very pleased with that, actually. Very, very pleased. Let's do one more deploy to production. Boom. And shortly I should be able to refresh this and we'll be all set. Don't endo feed me. There's got to be a way I can tell this I want, like, oldest. Can I change it to be like not? I don't like that as like 30-day restriction. But I should also probably make a blog post that's like, hey, congratulations, I have a new RSS feed. Isn't that cool? What is RSS? I don't know. I'll do that actually. That'll be fun. That'd be a good way to dog food this also. Refresh this. Is in order? It is in order now. That's cool. Okay. Okay, last thing for real. Last made of last. Let's make a quick blog post that's like, congratulations, I have a RSS feed now. That's really easy. Just go to blogs, new file. And so they've got tags like this. Boom. Your benefits as a Skeletom RSS subscriber. That's so true. Today is what? 9/3? Cool, and then it would be something like if you ever wanted to keep tabs on when I post new project updates or just have something pithy to say, but you're also living in the year 2005 and Twitter hasn't been invented yet, you can now subscribe to my shiny new RSS feed. And that will be a link. Cool. And do like RSS stands for Really Simple Syndication, is a standard protocol for aggregating news articles from disparate websites. It was hugely useful from the era before the entire internet was centralized around single sites like Twitter or Facebook. You can take the URL, my URL, and plug it into your favorite RSS feed reader and get notified when I publish new work. Trying to think if I have any other important documents to like link to here. I don't think so. I think that's fine. And then I just need an image, which I should have. From rss.com. Copy that into my images folder, which is in public image. Cool. That's all taken care of. Let's fire up my website again. And it should be the latest blog post on my homepage. Refresh one more time. And there it is, RSS feed now available. Click on that. Information about my wonderful new feature. If I had an RSS subscription to my homepage as though it were 2005, please clap. If you ever wanted to keep tabs on when I post new project updates or just have something pithy to say, but you're also living in the year 2005 and Twitter hasn't been invented yet, you can now subscribe to my shiny new RSS feed. Takes you there. What is RSS? You can follow the URL. I should make that a link also, actually. Which I think I do like this. There we go. Works like expected. Cool, okay, yeah, that works. And then if I go to my actual RSS feed like we were just looking at, most recent post, RSS feed now available, posted today. It works, the system works. I'm very, very pleased. Thank you for clapping. Next, make so auto post your Twitter posts to your RSS. If Twitter had an API, you could, in theory, do that. It would be really annoying, but you could actually just like pipe your tweets into an RSS feed. I think that was definitely doable when Twitter had an API, but now it doesn't, which is all the more reason why I want something like this, because I think Twitter is going the way of the dinosaurs. Anyway, let's publish this. And call it a day. Let's find somebody to raid, yeah? That was a nice brisk 90-minute stream. Kind of twice what I thought this would take time-wise, but I still got the whole feature done, and now I can finally like think about anything else, which is good. This has been on my mind since I made my website. I was thinking I really wanted an RSS feed for some reason. I can't explain why, but I thought it was really important that I have one if I'm going to make a website of my own. I'd be finally in control of how my information is spread and whatnot. It just do be like that, right? I've got so many other irons in so many other fires. But I'm just like, no, I have to... Hey, Denshi, that's you. You're on stream. Congratulations. This is also fun, that you can just, like, check out my stream from... Well, now, why does it think I... Oh, because my server just rebooted, that's why. Hold on, try again. It got camera shy. But my server just redeployed, so that's why. There we are. Hi, Twitch. you can watch me recursively. You can watch crazy. It just goes all the way down. But yeah, there we are. RSS feed now available. Love that for me. You can check out the older blog posts, newer blog posts. Perfect. You can check out my housekeeping blog posts, of which there are 2. This one's tagged RSS, of which there's only 1. Bellissimo. Okay, let's go find somebody to raid, yeah? Twitch. Oh, this is an easy one, actually. There's someone I've been meaning to check out, or send people to for a hot minute now.
Where we pick a tile.
Who I cannot believe is actually still streaming, because I remember him going live like 7 hours ago. I should make a command for it. You're right, Denshi. There are so many things I should do. And you're very welcome. I don't know when my next stream is going to be. Maybe Thursday, maybe not. It depends on what my time kind of looks like. And then next week, I will maybe be able to do Tuesday, but not Thursday. Because I'm traveling to staff another Pokemon regional coming up, which I'm very excited about. But that will take away my entire weekend, 2 weekends hence. So we'll see. I don't really have anything like I want to stream right now. Like my philosophy as a person who uses Twitch is that I should stream when I have something important to share. Not like, it's not my job, you know, I'm not looking to make this like a career. So I'm not just trying to put in the hours or phone it in. If I have something I want to do or share, it would be like this. But most of the projects I'm doing right now are kind of secretive. So I can't really stream them. And other than that, like, not a whole lot to do. So we'll see when I'm around. You'll definitely, if you subscribe to my RSS feed, you might be able to find out when my next stream is. But anyway, we're gonna go raid L:*Q. I think I spelled that right. This channel's intended for mature audiences. This guy has an incredible VTuber setup. He's being rendered in terminal by like ASCII, which is very, very cool. I'm trying to think what would be a good message. I don't know. I don't have like a... You can just be like... Buongiorno, I guess. If you've got access to any of my emotes, they're fine to use. I think they're all fine. But yeah, I don't know what he's doing right now. His channel, stream description is collapsing my wave function and also dozens of years of human history, exploring L:*Q's dual particle and wave nature, oomph, exclamation point, pronunciation. So yeah, that's cool. There you go, that's a good one. Okay, I like that. Raid tag. That's a good one. That's also fine. Anyway, yeah, so Bonasera and good night. Bye-bye.